Welcome back to the Abundance Alchemist, your quiet space to remember who you are. Tonight, the air is softer. The noise beyond these walls begins to drift into the background, every echo and old demand fading like footsteps down a distant corridor. You're here, right now, on the threshold where striving exhales and something quieter arises. Can you feel it, that gentle invitation under each heartbeat, the hush that spreads through your chest when you let yourself, for the smallest moment, rest from all becoming? There's a world that wants so much from us, a world that lives for the next step, the new mountain, the ceaseless reach. So often you've learned to measure worth by motion, to equate aliveness with effort and effort with enoughness. Every morning's lists, every dusk's silent tally. You had to go, to do, to prove, until all that's left is a longing for some soft permission you can't name. But what if, beneath all the striving, abundance was never something to earn? What if it was waiting in the space between your inhales, in the gentle way your spirit lines back into the pillow? Imagining stillness not as a pause between achievements, but as a secret doorway, the place where soul mates supply. Here, the sky inside is endless. Here you don't have to clutch, hustle, or plead. Abundance arrives not with speed, but with the hush that follows surrender, like dew on grass at dawn, appearing only when the world has hushed enough to let it form. Tonight, let this be your sanctuary, where striving dissolves and a new kind of receiving can begin. Rest into the quiet. Let the hush hold you. You are safe. You are witnessed here, and with every breath you drift closer, not to more effort, but to the abundance that blooms only in stillness. Maybe it starts as a whisper, the invisible ache just beneath your skin. You wake up and the world swivels on urgency, coffee cooling, phones chiming, a calendar already hungry. You move through the day almost aching to catch yourself, but there is always another thing to be done. You carry this secret weight that no one else can see. The mind rehearses the list, rewinding, fast-forwarding, adding, quietly trading away soft moments for some imagined peace that never quite arrives. You're gentle, curious, fiercely capable, but your nerves flicker whenever you pause. Some part of you still believes that stillness is a luxury earned only after the last task is conquered. And so the ache deepens, not just in your bones, but behind your eyes, inside your breath. It hums while you smile politely, while you scheme and organize, while you listen to the dreams of others. There's a private yearning. And to feel proud, to rest deeply, to finally land where nothing more is required from you tonight. But pressure is so quiet too. It sneaks in, disguises itself as devotion or purpose or care. It sounds like, just one more, if I could just get ahead, I'll rest after. It's both ancient and brand new every day. It never asks your permission. It just lives inside you, making everything urgent but never truly enough. You wonder if anyone else is haunted by this ache. If others lie in bed, silent and shimmering with regret for how much life was missed in the chase for a temporary peace. If anyone else is tired enough to let the longing spill out, soft and brave as the first tear. Sometimes in the late hours you feel the gentle ache that wants to be seen, not solved. The side of you that whispers, maybe there is nothing left to prove. Maybe the world would still spin if you rested in your own arms a little longer. Maybe the ache is just love, longing for your attention, asking you to witness all you carry, and all you haven't let yourself lay down. There's a moment, a quiet and unannounced, when your heart says what words never seem to catch, a thrum beneath even the calmest breath, not hunger, not striving, but the sort of longing that drifts in on the sound of your own steady heartbeat. Maybe the world taught you that wanting ease is lazy, that joy to be real must be earned, must be justified, that abundance is for those who work longest or ache hardest. But you, goddess of midnight honesty, you know how your soul aches for something gentler. You feel it right between the bones and the skin, that ancient wish for things to come soft, for gifts to arrive like sunlight warming your closed eyelids in the late afternoon. No need to run tonight, no need to push. Listen, if you're very still, you can sense a different story breathing underneath all the stories you were given. This desire isn't childish, it isn't greedy or naive. It's the echo of life remembering itself through you. The wish for days wrapped loosely around laughter, for plenty without punishment, for the permission to rest, not after everything is done, but while the sun is still shining. And to let your hands unfurl, to let your chest rise and fall without carrying the weight of more or better or enough yet. Sometimes the ache for ease feels sharpest after a day built on shoulds. Sometimes joy feels furthest away when you are working hardest to catch it. Abundance shows up like a secret, one you chase and never quite touch. But beneath the ache, beneath the effort, you haven't lost the thread. It's here, quiet and whole, the soul deep memory that life was always meant to be easier than this. Perhaps it's a memory from childhood, grass stains and fireflies, summer air tangled with possibility. You didn't wonder if you deserved it back then. You let delight find you. You let yourself belong to happiness, body and soul, purely because you were alive. Tonight, just let yourself feel it. The ache, the yearning. Not to change anything yet, but to notice the shape of longing inside you, to see your own wish for ease, for joy, for effortless abundance fully, beautifully awake. The desire is holy. The longing itself is the evidence of what you're meant for. Let that be enough for tonight. The world can wait. Let your wanting be your softest truth, and let yourself rest knowing that every part of you that yearns also remembers and will lead you home. Sometimes in the hush of a tired room, there's a flicker, a quiet ache just beneath the skin. It's the kind you feel when you want to trust the quiet, to let go, to surrender all that restless reaching. But there's that tremble, that pull, something in you whispers, wait, don't let go yet, what if you fall? It's strange how sleep itself can feel like a risk, how gentleness or even just the softness of being held by your breath, by your body, by the simple trust that things can be easy, can feel unfamiliar. There's a part of you that looks for the catch, rehearses the danger, quietly adds one more thing to a to-do list in your head, as if effort were a shield and rest, a question you can't quite answer. There is a myth, ancient and shining, that you must earn your way into ease, that you need permission to sink into the arms of the night, that you must be unbreakably useful, always alert, always producing, or else you'll be left behind. This story lives inside, like a shadow in the soft light, close but hard to see head on. Sometimes receiving feels like a test. When someone offers kindness, a compliment, a gentle place to land, you may feel a pang. The mind asks, am I worthy of this comfort? Have I done enough? And beneath that thought a deeper hush. Will I ever be enough to simply be? You might not remember when this began, only that it seems to echo across moments, a tightening in the chest when you rest, unease in the body when you pause. It's as if some long ago hurt wrote itself into the muscles, a memoir of needing to prove and perform to earn every breath. But love doesn't measure you. Abundance doesn't come only to the hardest worker. These fears of being too much or not enough at all only try to keep you safe, but in the name of safety they keep the doors locked, even when the night is calling you home. So tonight, here in the soft threshold between waking and sleep, just notice their shapes. The ways fear curls up around rest, the way it follows you to the edge of receiving and pauses uncertain. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to fix anything or force an answer. You are only here to notice, to listen, to breathe in the ache and exhale without explanation. Maybe just for now you let yourself feel the weight of longing for peace, for comfort, for the softness you've been told you must earn. Feel the place where trust and fear meet in the center of your chest, the place that aches for a kinder permission than the world has ever given you. And with your next breath, notice you're still here, every part of you heard. Every shadow, every question gently met. The ache lives quietly below the noise, a steady whisper behind every busy day, every reaching hand. Maybe you know its shape, that never-ending seesaw inside, the old tightening that says, more doing, more proving, more earning, just to finally belong. It sits beneath all the lists and the plans, curling up in the softer parts of you, afraid you might slow down enough to notice it there. You turn towards success, you angle for closeness, you try to hold it all together, but beneath the surface another current pulls. The pattern is older than memory, a loop that began long before you had words for wanting to be enough. Maybe it was a parent's silence, a teacher's shrug, a friend's quick escape. Somewhere along the line you mistook movement for meaning, thought that worth would come if you could just keep spinning, keep pleasing, keep pulling a little more weight than you were ever meant to carry. It's not your fault, this vigilance. It's a tender, holy instinct. If I just push a little harder, if I just shine a little brighter, the world might let me rest in its arms. There's a sweetness in the hope. But hope gets caught in the gears, ground down by that shadow voice that says, do more or you'll disappear. It asks you to run, to keep running, even as your spirit aches for a softer way. Some nights when the house is quiet and the clock's hands move slow, you feel it, that gentle ache, the longing for release, for praise that doesn't demand, for love that lingers even if your hands are empty. You wish you didn't have to work so hard just to be held. As if stillness itself is a luxury you haven't yet earned. Pause with me here, notice the breath, the one you don't have to work for. The inhale and exhale that happens whether or not you strive. This is you before effort, before any proving. Have you noticed the old ache softening just for a moment, as if even your bones want to remember a time before you believed you had to earn your place here? It's not lost, that memory. You haven't lost yourself. The pattern is just a learned dance, a loop the mind weaves when love felt conditional. This is not the truth of you, but the shadow your light casts on weary walls. Tonight is just a quiet noticing, a remembering that even if you can never do or give or fix another thing, you belong. The ache is seen. The pattern is not the end. Let the loop slow as you rest, not broken, not banished, just seen, and for now at the edge of sleep enough. There's a softness the mind cannot measure, a frail, holy thread that hums just beneath the world of wanting, a flicker that's always been here. Maybe you've felt it, quietly woven into those rare moments when you weren't striving or asking for more, but simply letting your breath be sweet and easy. In that hush, abundance rises, not as a thing to be earned, but as a gentle music meeting your frequency. You are not the one who must convince life to give. Life is memory, ancient and wild, tuned to the shape of you. When you lean back, when you exhale and stop trying to get it right, that's when the tapestry loosens, the river widens. What if instead of reaching, you let the world come closer on the wings of your openness? Try remembering this. Abundance does not rush. It waits for stillness, answering the softest invitation, not the loudest grasp. If you ever wonder why your tightest wishes seem to echo back empty, picture a child catching butterflies. The more urgently she runs, the more the wings slip away. But lying quiet in the grass, she becomes part of the garden itself, and soon the bright wings land, unafraid, on her open palm. Think, too, of rain. The earth does not beg for every drop. It simply offers itself, cracked and ready, and the clouds soften with relief, spilling their fullness on the places that receive. Can you imagine yourself as that gentle earth, receiving without demand, soft, trusting that what is meant to reach you will soak into every hungry root? And then the silent moon. She never raises her voice, never chases the tides. Yet the sea follows her, pulled not by force but by devotion, drawn to something sacred and unseen. Your frequency, your willingness to be at home in yourself, is the moonlight that calls forth what is already yours. No need to strive, no need to outpace grace. It's your gentleness that changes the tides. It's your resting heart that draws the wonder in. There's a secret every weary heart holds, a truth whispered across centuries, hidden beneath the layers of trying and striving. Your magnetic presence, more than your desperate effort, is what shapes your world. Like sunlight drawing blooms from quiet earth, it is the frequency you inhabit, the soft hum under your skin, that weaves reality around you. You do not have to labor for what wants to find you. Sometimes the mind assumes it must force open the doors of abundance, clenched fists and furrowed brow, straining to engineer miracles. But the universe responds to resonance, not wrestling. Think of the forest at midnight. The owl doesn't chase the mouse. She listens, perched in holy stillness, attuned to every rustle in the undergrowth. Her presence is the invitation. The world arrives to meet her where she already is. This is not about doing less or surrendering dreams. It's about remembering that alignment calls forth more than action alone. Where your energy flows, reality follows. And it matters deeply because the old way, the striving way, leaves you empty even as you gather achievements. You win the prize but lose the music in your bones. When you believe your force creates everything, you exile yourself from the wellspring of ease and grace. What's left when effort turns to exhaustion? What happens to wonder when you're always chasing? Another example drifts in. Imagine a garden you tend, not with frantic hands tearing at weeds, but with love and gentle curiosity. The flowers open by nature's rhythm, returning again and again because your care is steady, not frenzied. The garden thrives not because you control it, but because you show up in devotion. And maybe you've felt it too in the company of someone whose energy fills the room softly without trying. Their laughter, their peace, it draws you, it soothes you. The ones who do not strive to be seen, but who let their light remain steady, unhidden. Magnetism, not might. This is how life delights in you, like water rising to meet the shore. Your presence, clear and humming with truth, is what calls the tide. The effort is in being, not in becoming someone else. Again, we remember, the universe is not moved by desperation, it is awakened by joy. When you stand inside your own song humming quietly, those resonant notes slip through hidden doors, unlocking invitations that effort alone could never create. Let your heart rest here, no need to push. You are here now, whispering your frequency into the wide open night. Can you feel the difference in your bones when you allow yourself to draw in instead of reach out? There is this quiet ache, a longing that hums beneath the surface of your days. Perhaps you wake with it, or it blooms inside you when night falls. It whispers that you should do more, become more, prove your light to a world that worships effort. But what if this night you let that ache unravel, thread by thread? Beingness is not earned, no matter how many stars you reach for. You are not the chase nor the unfinished to-do. You are a living answer, soft, wild, effortless. Your presence is an ancestral yes, a truth woven through all your seasons. Rest is not a pause from worthiness. Rest is the sacred remembering that you arrived whole. Like sunlight glancing off old river water, your spirit needs no reason to glow but existing itself. We wander through years of striving, collecting gold stars, collecting proof, hoping each little badge will crown us with the feeling of enough. The need to keep up, outperform, and perfect, it's inherited but not required. Why does this matter so deeply? Because beneath every checklist and every restless hour is the trembling hope that rest won't make you invisible, that stillness won't erase you. Imagine a tree, unhurried, arms open through storms and shine. It does not hustle for its place in the forest. Its simple being is worship in itself. Or think of a child curled up in trust's lap, breathing softly. No part of them wonders if they deserve presence, they simply are radiant. Even the moon rests, folding quietly into the velvet black, and the whole world still waits for her to return. You too have always been awaited. Let's open the next layer. When your heart forgets its enoughness, the world can become a hall of mirrors, every reflection shaped by expectation. You might scan for validation in texts, approval in faces, a good job that lands just so. But why does this matter? Because the chase is an old, echoing wound. It's the tired wish to feel chosen, safe, real. Picture this. A wildflower in the cracked sidewalk, not measuring itself against roses. It leaves a little fragrance anyway. or water moving silent under ice, dreaming of spring without apology. Or the scent of bread rising in a dark kitchen, nourishing a home that no one else can see. Enoughness glimmers in the ordinary, asking for nothing in return. Each example, like you, belongs. And now let the most golden truth settle here. Your beingness is a ceremony. Every breath is a vow, every exhale a benediction. The world may rush and calculate, but your soul remembers what stillness can reveal. Why does this matter? Because sacred rest is the portal through which abundance finds you, unstriving, unworried, completely open. Think of clouds, wide, languid, never apologizing for drifting. Or a beloved pet, dozing in sun warmth, feeling utterly safe in their skin. Or the hush just before dawn, holding the world with a patience that teaches faith. These are not moments of idleness, but invitations to remember. Being enough is the beginning of all receiving. Tonight, let your soul unclench its fists. Let the hush seep into every hour you've ever rushed, and trust that there is nothing more sacred than your simple, luminous being. You are and have always been enough. It's all softer now, as if the teachings, all those flickering thoughts and layered longings, have finally found a resting place within you. There are no more lessons to hold up to the light, no more old ache needing to be named. Only this quiet after, where what's true moves like moonlit water through muscle and memory and marrow. You don't have to try so hard anymore. The wisdom is not something to grasp or chase, but something that settles, like dew on wild grass, like the hush just before dawn brushes the horizon. Notice how your heartbeat is steadier, gentler, as each truth seeps softly into the spaces inside you, all the places that life forgot to touch. A single breath might carry you further than any answer. Tonight, the air feels thick and almost holy, scented with some sacred remembering. Is that safety you sense in your bones? Is it ease at last, washing into the corners where old hurry once lived? You let it pool there in your chest, where the shell cracks, where warmth seeps in, where nothing is forced and everything belongs. Sometimes integration is like watching rain soak the earth. It moves slow, invisible at first, then suddenly the whole garden is changed. Something unnameable is growing in you now. Roots unfurl where you cannot see, tender leaves open to receive all the gentle light you forgot you deserved. Let your body feel the hush. Let your mind trust what it cannot explain. Every teaching has drifted down like soft leaves, layering one upon another, until the ground beneath you is sturdy and rich. There is nothing to do but rest into it. The work is happening while you sleep. Remember the seasons, how winter never apologizes for its stillness. How the trees never beg to return to bloom, they trust the process of being, of absorbing, of quietly becoming. Tonight you are that. A quiet, rooted part of the broader rhythm of receiving, nothing forced, nothing left behind. You are the field after dusk, the echo after laughter, the slow melt of snow into early spring. You are the in-between place where transformation happens, silent and sacred. Let what's been awakened in you weave into every edge of your being. Nothing about you needs to hurry. Integration is not a task. It is a permission slip. So exhale, let your spirit settle and your heart remember. This is what coming home feels like. It's not always loud or bright. Sometimes it's the sweetest silence, heavy with meaning, a remembering that deep change doesn't have to hurt. It can arrive as quietly as sleep and stay just as long. Close your eyes, feel the gentle hush of nighttime all around you, tender as the memory of a hand in yours. With every slow inhale, you drift deeper into the landscape within. There is no force here, no striving, only the hush of your own soul returning to its own rhythm. Imagine now a long and open field beneath the stars. You stand barefoot in soft grass, the world around you painted silver by the moon's glow. The breath flows easy. The horizon feels endless, yet the ground beneath you is safe, familiar, as though you have always belonged here. Let the air be thick with possibility. With every breath, you open a little more. Sense a warmth collecting at your heart center.